Welcome to the official chess time control tier list. I'm going to be ranking these time controls based on how good they are for improvement. So if you clicked on this video thinking that I was going to put 30-second hyper bullet chess in S tier, you are very, very wrong, my friend. This is going to be for improvement specifically. So with that being said, I'm putting 30-second chess in F tier, and I'm putting all of these bullet time controls in the F tier. Well, I guess 1+0 would technically be a little bit higher than these, and 2+1 is going to be the highest one in the F tier. That's kind of funny. Do you know anybody who plays 2+1? Comment down below if you know a human being that plays 2+1. So I don't know who plays this, but the thing is, all of these go into the F tier because they're not good for your improvement. You're getting a lot of volume, you're not getting a lot of quality, and it's just cheap dopamine. You're not practicing strategy, you're not practicing calculation, you're not improving your understanding of the game, you're just playing fast. And to me, that's not chess improvement. So if you don't like this, well, too bad. It's my tier list. So these all go into the F tier. Next up, we have 3+0. 3+0 is a very, very hotly debated topic. Now, what I would say is if you are at a master level, especially IM or a GM level, it's either A tier or S tier, because IMs and GMs can calculate really fast. They can come up with ideas fast, so they can get a lot of experience in a lot of different positions. But if you're like 1,000 or a 1,200 rated player, even higher, I would say even like 2,000, I don't think the 3+0 is all that useful. So I'm putting it in C tier because I don't think 3+0 is enough time to train your understanding of the game. As I said, it's going to be useful for like masters and above, but for most people, it is going to be a C tier time control. Same with 3+2. 3+2 and 5-minute chess, they're both kind of the same. I mean, 3+2 is going to end up being like 5-6 minutes per side anyways. So both of these go to the C tier as well, for the same reason that it's not really all that useful. It's not enough time. Now, 5+3 is actually not bad. I think it's quite underrated. I'm going to put it in B tier, and each game is going to end up being like 8 or 9 minutes. Sometimes maybe it's going to be 10 minutes, but if you're going to play 5+3, you might as well play 10+0. So I'm putting 10+0 in A tier because it's very good. 10 minutes is a good amount of time to think and to come up with plans, ideas. Now, it's not enough time to calculate everything. It's not like a classical time control, but it's still good. So you're going to be blitzing out some moves, but then you're going to have enough time to think in critical moments. So that's why I'm putting 10+0 in A tier. You can play this at any level as well, which you cannot play, for example, some other time controls, which we will talk about very, very soon. And I think all around, it's just a very good time control to play for improvement. And 5+3 is also kind of similar, but it's just a slightly inferior version of that, I think. But you can also consider this maybe A tier as well, depending on the games themselves, I suppose. But I think 5+3 belongs in B tier. I think 10+0 belongs in A tier. Now, 30+0, I'm going to put this in B tier. The reason why I'm going to put this in B tier is because if you start a game and let's say you have a winning position within the first 5 minutes, you're going to be converting a winning game for like 30-40 minutes, which might not be useful for you at all. And your opponent might not resign. Now, if you have a training partner, this goes up to either A tier or S tier. But if you're playing like online regular, it is B tier. I think it's still way, way more useful than F tier and somewhat more useful than C tier as well. But I believe that 30+0 is not as efficient as 10+0 because yes, you're playing a longer game, but with 10+0, you're also getting a lot more experience in different positions because you're playing a lot more volume of games. So 10+0 is like a great balance of volume and quality. So for example, bullet is only volume and like 30+20 is like only quality. You cannot play that many 30+20 games, but 10+0 is actually a great balance. And as a matter of fact, I think that 30+20, I might even put this in C tier. Like, I don't believe that 30+20 is all that great. 30+0 is better, but once again, with 30+20, say you get into a winning position within the first 5 minutes, you're just there converting a winning game for an hour if your opponent does not resign, and all of that time is just wasted at that point. It's not an effective volume. So even though you're like playing a longer game, you're getting a lot of experience, it's not really effective in a lot of circumstances. So that's why I'm gonna put this in C tier. I think 30+0 is actually better than 30+20. Now, I think these are two best time controls, and both 15+10 and 10 plus 5 are going to go into S tier. I think both of these are interchangeable. You can put 10 plus 5 in number 1 and put 15 plus 10 in number 1 as well. I don't care which one is number 1. Honestly, I think these are both fantastic because you have just a little bit more time than 10 plus 0. So you have a lot of time to think, you have a lot of time to strategize, you have a lot of time to come up with ideas, calculate, and also you're not going to be getting flagged as much. Because you might get flagged in 10 plus 0 because there's no increment, but it's kind of hard to flag somebody in 10 plus 5. So 10 plus 5 is like purely strategic chess, and this is the time control that all the bullet and blitz players hate, because if you're a superior player, you're gonna beat somebody in 10 plus 5 and they can't flag you. So I think this is great. Both of these are a great balance of quality and quantity, in my opinion. Now, the only downside that 15, 10, and 10 plus 5 have is that once you get to like 2000 plus, people are not going to be playing these two anymore. You're gonna have to switch to 10 plus 0, which is still fine. 10 plus 0 is still great, but it's just a small downside for these two. But overall, in terms of balancing quality and quantity, these two time controls are unmatched. They are absolutely fantastic. So I'm putting both of these in S tier. Next up, we have Correspondence chess, and I'm actually going to put this in B tier. The reason why I'm going to put one-day games in B tier is because it actually does not waste a lot of time. With 30 plus 20, you might be wasting a lot of time if your opponent doesn't resign in a completely winning position. But with one-day chess, like you're there thinking for like maybe 5 minutes, let's say, you make your move and then you're going to leave, right? You're not going to be sitting there looking at that position all day long. That's not how correspondence chess works. And I actually believe that one-day chess can be very useful in some cases. It can be very useful in terms of coming up with plans and in terms of coming up with ideas. And I think it's actually very, very underrated. So I'm going to put it in B tier, but I can't say the same thing about 3-day correspondence, which I'm going to put in C tier. And I can't say the same thing with 7-day correspondence because I'm going to put that in F tier as well. The thing about these two is that they're just inferior and slower versions of one-day correspondence. Because like, let's say you're playing a 7-day correspondence game. In 1 week, you're going to forget the position. Like, you're not going to remember. But one day, you can remember the position, and then you can come back and refresh your memory. So I think one-day correspondence is underrated, but I think 3 and 7-day correspondence games are really not that useful at all. So this is my tier list for chess time controls. Let me know what you agree and disagree with. Let me know what you would change here. I think I've done a pretty good job of ranking all of these time controls based on improvement, but do let me know how wrong I am in the comments. I will see you there.